Well, you know, when you die so young, it's hard for other young people to identify with that because it means that they may die young. So their vulnerability is protected by protecting Tupac. If he's dead, I can die. If he's not dead, then that possibility is forestalled. So when people invest in this urban legend that they saw Tupac in Cuba, kicking it with Assata Shakur, or he's on some paradise island, it's a way of protecting their own psyches from the vulnerable recognition that they too will and can die. Furthermore, I think that Tupac is the first candidate for the kind of cultural survival that usually is only accorded to figures like Elvis. Of course, when Charlie Parker died, people immediately went around and said, "Bird lives," and people claim to have seen him in other places. So Tupac by no means is the first, but I think the most extraordinary black example of survival in this post-industrial urban spaces.
Tupac had a special gift, I truly believe it. And I think that part of that gift was the sense of prophecy.
Well, I think he definitely had, you know, what Freud called thanatos, which is this love of death, this death wish. And at the same time, believing that that was his destiny. He was haunted by his own destiny, addicted to death, so to speak.
He started feeling that he was going to die, and he already had in his mind and said it in his heart that he was going to die at a young age. Tupac never thought he would live to be 30.
Death was always linked to him in his own rhetoric to suffering. So for him, the rhetorical acknowledgement of death was always linked to its acknowledgement as a form of suffering. And why does God allow death and destruction to occur?
His death, he had just lyrically spoke about it a lot in his songs. It was his time. September 13th, 1996 was his time to go, and it was pre-planned. There was nothing that I could have done. No one else could have done anything. Had that been the case, it would have happened. The shooters would have been found out. We would know who killed him. God had it already planned for his life. His mom and I even spoke on that, and I wrote that in my paperback edition of my book, Got Your Back. And she said to me, "Frank, baby, there was nothing that you could have done that night. Tupac Shakur's life was planned, and it was going to end September 13th, 1996. You and no one else could have done anything." That brought a lot of peace to my heart right there when she and I finally had the conversation. After 2 years, from the time that he was shot up until, I think it was around June, July of 1998 that she and I spoke. And it relieved a lot of feelings for me to have spoke with her and had pretty much her blessings that she wasn't upset at me and it wasn't a problem with me. And no one else really matters. It's his mother that mattered to me, and I got her answer. So only God could judge me, and that's the end of that one.
Dunkle Wände, reimende Legende, schließ die Augen, leg den Kopf in Gottes Hände. Lass die Engel diesen Vers sprechen, süße Melodien des Herzens, wie sie schweben und zerbrechen. 25 Jahre bin ich wie du, dein Leben in Scherben, zum Sterben zu jung zum Sterben. 14 Jahre sind vergangen, doch nicht die Trauer, deine Botschaft lebt weiter, mit ewiger Dauer. Ich kann vielleicht nur wenig deine Struggles teilen, dich nur auf wenigen deiner Pfade begleiten, doch eins kann ich mit Sicherheit sagen, ich werde dich für immer in meinem Herzen tragen. Der letzte Reim ist nicht gesprochen, du lässt mich weinen und lehrst mich hoffen. Helle Wände, reimende Legende, öffne die Augen, es gibt kein Ende. Für Tupac.